What's the dividend yield on the S&P 500? The dividend yield is just above 1.2%, close to the peak of 2000 during the tech boom. After that, the market crashed and the dividend yield went back to 4%. It was pretty normal around 2% for many years, spiked during 2020 COVID, and then the rally from COVID until 2022, correction, and 1.2%. So he later asked me, so if it's 1.2%, and so then he asked me, so why don't they buy the 10-year treasury at 4%? Here's the answer. Because the 10-year treasury can't give you more than 10% annualized returns for 10 years. So if you bought in 2014, which is 10 years before today, you would have made approximately 13.3%. If you bought in 1990, 10 years before 2000, you would have made 20%. But if you bought in the 2000s, for 10 years, you would have made 0 or less than 0. So price is what you pay, right? Value is what you get. But the 10-year treasury can't give you usually these types of rallies. So this is the S&P 500 monthly, and I drew a line from the peak of 2008 until today. It's 16 years, and the return was 2.7%, 270%, or 3.7x. So let's annualize that. What does 3.7x mean in the context of 16 years? So let's annualize that. 3.7 to the power of 1/16, 8.5%. So not that crazy. This is a nominal return of the S&P 500 if you bought the peak of 2008 and held it until today. The thing is, people have dreams about AI, further big tech growth, the cloud, spaceships, flying cars, and all that. But when you pay such a high price, right, like now, you probably won't make much because you bought the peak. There is one more thing, though, which makes it more complicated to assess this and which makes some sense to buy a good collection of stocks rather than just fixed income. This is currency debasement. So currency debasement is exactly the same thing as inflation. And this is one of the most important things in investing. Destroys wealth over time, and what to do about it. I'll give you the link to this essay in the description. So when you buy the 10-year treasury, what you're doing is lending money. And what you will get back is more money with an interest rate. However, if inflation is high during those 10 years, inflation will eat up your returns because this right here is the nominal return. But there is such a thing as the real return, which adjusts your returns for inflation. So if inflation stays high, basically in 10 years, you may not get nothing or very close to nothing. However, when you invest in stocks, you own businesses, you own fractional ownerships in businesses. You haven't lent money, you own businesses. And businesses, especially if they keep their competitive advantage, they can adjust their prices to inflation. So, example, an iPhone cost $500. With inflation now, it costs $1,200. So the value you own in Apple or in Starbucks or in Microsoft adjusts with inflation. So this is one of the key reasons why real assets go up and up and up and up, while non-real assets like the 10-year treasury and cash and fixed income suffer. We'll talk all about this in the Zero to Hero Investing course. Be sure to check it out.